Good afternoon, good evening, good night, good morning. When you get there, yeah, man, we don't play. All right, last night, I tell you all this morning, people, lie down in my bed, you know. I mean, I think about my show, I get up, come do. Come here for do that show, yeah, you know. Very educational. You know, when Big Mama came out, after the PMP, you know, came out and talk how them walk out of Palestine, yeah, Big Mama run out to defense. Nobody not talk to Big Mama. None. And he run out and he make Angelo say choose visa, a piece of paper over humanity. But you see what happened in Gaza, you know. You see what happened in Gaza. And it's bigger than what we think. And then I tell you about this and about them to look about our own business. Let me tell you something what me I remind the world I want about. I come like I can never remember. What I'm minding about the terror attack. Yeah. With the Cubana 455 flight. Where they come up from Barbados next to Jamaica for Cuba, but them blow out of the sky. Kill all 73. You remember it? 1976. CIA. CIA do it, yeah man. CIA. See? So we, you know, when you see these kind of little things to reach at your doorstep, you're not safe. So whether state sponsor terrorism or what have you, you're still not safe. The only way you can guarantee safety and when you have a safe world. When you have a safe world. Yeah? Them time they know say them have them little thing and them are going with them little thing, but we never safe. And that's the truth. We did not safe. We never safe. And for you, this guy come out. Remember, we have an opposition, them that vote for big dirty thinking, mama. It hurt me so till I know me I say, no man, people, him for lose the license. Them have to lose the license. You have to make them lose the license. So I go back deep. Because I remember we were doing some good learning channel, you know. We have the learning channel. And by the way, the first time in history, we find America switch and say, no, we're on the Palestinian side. Him come up with one bag of bullshit. I'm going to show you what the evil will drop amongst we. If the plane that they drop, and it does drop the pilot good, it drop it the cloud of sea. Right? All 73 there. It could have dropped at Jamaica too, because them blow up the plane. And when it get up, it blow up. When they listen, it's you don't know the history. I'm going to draw on the back in that history. And we have to condemn Big Mama to the highest level. Because all them do is go around and play politics, you know. You understand? You see me I say? All them do is go around and play politics. Go around and play politics and chat foolishness. It's an evil side. We have to take a look on Gaza and we have to take a look on war. Can you imagine? You there Jamaica. And when you look them away down bump on you in your place, you can get in your place, okay, where there. And then people them have some high-rise building and they're like, oh, you see the shanty town, oh, it's a good building. And you level them. You destroy baby, newborn, you write up old people. When a business boy you are. Unless you have the heart in humanity, you pick up for these people. A war crime against humanity. War crime. See? These are what the people them I got through. And big dirty thinking, mama. May I show it? I'm gonna show it. Yeah. Big dirty thinking, mama pick up that pan in head. Nobody talking to him. None. Yes. And I want to show now. Let me tell you what I'm going to start. I'm going to zero in Gaza first. Because this very, you see that show you very educational. I'm going to remind you about this. Because we suffer too, you know. We suffer under the hands in the 70s. That's why when me hear Andrew Holness come out and talk about 70s on this, hey, in for charge for treason, when him say these things, yeah? This is what we got through in the 70s. The plane could have dropped on West City too. Because it had come at Kingston at the time. Look here.
Cubana Flight 455. This feature presents Barbados' response to the bombing of Cubana Flight 455.
Hey, Cubana 455, we are requesting immediately landing.
The Barbados government took this incident very seriously. terrorist incident took place on the 6th of October. A very important day in Barbados.
Wednesday, October the 6th, 1976, dawned like a regular Wednesday in Barbados. It was a day that held great promise for the island. A few weeks earlier, the nation had completed a period of political campaigning which saw the election of the Barbados Labour Party government led by Tom Adams. The new cabinet members had taken the oath of office and had started their ministerial work.
All right, so I'm going to start this first. So this, I'm going to the document. Kind of how know. Well, enough of our people, they never realize, we get a terror attack. CIA dropped that, CIA are part of this. Yes, CIA. So when you know this, you have sponsor terror attack. And when you start that, you have some little man will start about these things because state, you have state terrorist attack too. Yes, we have to know that. We have to know ourselves. So we're going to start for sure. We're going to look at the documentary that, but we're going to look at the evil of Big Mama and him intent. Him is a piece of shit. We're going to look at Gaza or Gaza State. I say, what, me is a man, me roughing, and when water come on my eye this morning, and I say, Jano, mankind can't evil, so. Look how them are destroy the people, them are destroy. Hey, me going to put them up and me going to show them. Anybody have a heart that come out and say, we're not busy about nothing. Yeah, we're not busy about nothing. We are talking about human life. This one. Yeah. And for here, the opposition came out. And I said, no, Holness, you can't aid and bet that. And then Big Mama, when nobody no vote for nothing, run out. Him and them garbage, because one of them big ass think and dance and evil and fool. You know nothing in foreign affairs. But come out and I tell we about Jamaica and mind what own business and in a lion's mouth and the visa. But I show you the visa over who and what. Big Mama them for rob them for go where. Yeah? I saw him never there Gaza when BB drop one of them, they take him. Him is a piece of shit. Yes. As some know say them not good enough. You put paper and you put people life. You rather people desecrated over a piece of paper and over parties. Use the germs. You're not supposed to depend on here. Hey, actually, no, you know, it hurt me for him, you know. Him and dirty thinking, Grant Davis. It hurt me for them, you know. Me I go show you what go on in Gaza. Me I go show you where American I say. I know them have a ceasefire. Yeah? Me I go show you. Let me start my show. Yes, man. Start. You're evil, brother.
We are beat it till they are my burn. We now make them get in and them on again. None of them
with Hamas in Gaza is now
some we are beat it till they are my burn. We now make them get in and them on again. None of them boy that we none of them. We alone some rise up the bomb.
When people like the government of a country, it's the servants protect the people of that country, not to put their life in misery. You understand me, Luciano? What else, man?
Government, stop pressuring the poor.
Oppression.
Politicians, your judgment coming for sure. It's a government in your regiment. Stop pressuring the poor.
We can't take it no more,
Politicians, your judgment coming for sure.
Yo, politician, with the evilest mission, who know we blame. Too money and power and fame. When we go friend up the youth, them relieve down the lane. Give them big gun and brainwash them brain. Yo, wanna buy them cow, wanna buy them clothes, and buy them.
Yeah, man, people. I'm gonna move this. Yeah, man. Yes, people. All right. So, in a life, I know one thing. You know, my old man teach me, my old lady teach me this. You have to stand for something and fall for nothing. Anything in principle. Right? You see, when you see something wrong, from it wrong. You know, try to justify the wrong there. Like, you know, crime against humanity. Because it happened to us. You know, them nearly assassinate Michael Mandy. State terrorism. If we just win and overthrow him, see, JLP are one of the wickedest party. They won't go run them out. But when me know the history, no man can't tell me nothing. Can we live through this? I mean, I drag back the people in memory through this. But we see a big dirty thinking, mama now, gone out. Yeah? Your opposition, you get elected to do your job. And you call out the humanitarian crisis in Palestine. We're going to take a look on it. Right? Big Mama, here come Big Mama, the whole of them labor right and G2K, pedophile them, you know. And have some million I put visa. Big, I play Big Mama, hey, people want to run him away. Hey, listen, that piece of shit will lose him license. I mean, I attack it lightly. It's evil. You're an evil. He's a piece of shit. Let me show you. If you could have got through, if we as Jamaican could have got through the life here. I know everybody, about 2 million people, live for a piece of thing we're back up. Now you have a handful of people where, the matter of fact, them terrorize, enough of them people that them can't talk neither. Enough people know that. See? You know, in a this, but you just have to just go and live and go through, so you suffer already. Right? BB, use this, I use 1,200, move over 60,000 people lost them life, plus hundreds of thousands mash up. And then I flatten people house. You know, you say you go out for something. Remember, even a real war, it turn war crime when you target civilians. What me just say why? We know this. It's a war crime. If you target civilians. That's what we have. And them have it there. It's war crime. When you target civilians like that, it's a war crime. No, you have fight a group. We call themselves freedom fighter, guerrilla, and them do this. And them fight land and all kind of things. You turn and level down the people. The one we say level. We are at big time level. See? Now, under the first Andrew did this. Andrew go to Israel for the first time. Dress the police them like Israeli police. And other people them the same thing. Same thing. Yes. But Israel drop the big bomb and the same thing. Same thing. They mash up the youth and do the same thing. And then back in by a fascist like big dirty thinking mama and Charles Davis there. When the opposition if do the mirror come out and talk them, you know, look on this. This are the Gaza what we are talking about. Look on this. Look on the house then people. Look here. People in them in a people. These are people like these are people and just empty building. Look there. No gosh, real thing me I show you. Look here. Look here. Yeah, look over them, look on them. Look on this. Oh, you know, when we are talking about, you never ask when you want
شردنا لاخر الدنيا قاعده في الطاوله على الطاوله شردنا كانوا في قصه شردنا على اخر الدنيا.
You see any one of them women and children you walk with gun in them and have something, you can stand up to a 10,000 pound bomber drop on you and revel down your house and desecrate you. And a desecrate a lick down the bill. These are war crimes. Just watch. And at this big mama, I tell Andrew for choose visa over, you know. That's what me can like big mama, you know. Look here.
قاعدين على الطاولة لسه بقول لهم احتسوا شظيتي في وجه البنت اجت على نفس الطاولة. شردنا لاخر الدنيا عشان ما يجوش فينا نفصل. لحقنا لاخر الدنيا نفصل. ما ناس وصار يما في جوزة. وين نروح؟ بنزلوا ابراج عشان نرحل. وين نروح يما؟ وين نروح بس قولوا لنا وين نروح؟ وين يما؟
Alright. Just think of Jamaica in this. Let me just play a couple more. Come like, look at, continue. This is good. But Daniel, I want thing we not doing now. And this is what Jamaica police are do. You know your house then kill you, you know car then kill you, and say, well, them didn't want a one man. Who are the terrorists? Me I remember Daniel, they don't say that. And me I show you a document where them carry down a plane, could drop a mobile over in our place and kill half of people. 73 our people them take down the, we don't forget the 76, them take down one of the Cuban plane and kill 73. Terror attack in our place. Just live up from Barbados to come to Jamaica. We're going to show that too. That's why we know in a big mama. Come in on my history now. But me like take it out and try it and me show you these things. You have state-sponsored terrorism and all kind of things. But we sit down here, you know, yes, we have to know the history and know what we are dealing with, you know. Look on this, you think this right? Look here. Look here. Look here. All right. Look how people are walk about them business. They may look like them a fire shot and thing. You cannot. This. Can you imagine you walk to New Kingston and when you look at this happen to you out the downtown? This is what we are talking about. Can you imagine you go and market downtown? Anyway. And this is a drop on you. You say you look for terrorists, but you are dropping on innocent people and desecrate them. Yeah? These are our crime. Look here. Anybody can't open that crush out. Man, I walk with them people. The way them get immune to the thing, you still walk with your part, and that alone you have. Family dead. This bad. Yeah, look at.
اصبر يا حاج الله يرضى عليك، اصبر يا حاج الله يرضى عليك، الله يرضى عليك يا حاج بدنا مش احنا، يرضى عليك يا حاج، يرضى عليك يا حاج، مش جايين جنبك
The black smoke remind me of 9/11. Soon happen. It remind me. See? Look. Man. And minding of people, anybody in that, you're gone. You're gone, right? Go. Every day, 2 years. Look there. People all say people. This is what we are talking about.
بده يهدوا كمان. نزل الطابق. نزل الطابق. نزل البرج. الله أكبر. نزل البرج كله. نزل البرج كله.
So you in that you can get caught up anytime. Before me play Big Mama, them have ceasefire now. But me show you something. It's the first time up to American them come talk against this. It gone too far. Hear this. See them just come out and now. Hear this.
Released this morning, we are standing by for the Israeli cabinet to approve the ceasefire deal that could have all Israeli hostages released within days. The Hamas terror attacks on Israel were 2 years ago now, almost exactly. As we sit here at what could be an historic moment, the question is, how have public opinions changed? CNN chief data analyst Harry Etten is here. 2 years, we are on the precipice of this big moment. Yes. So where does public opinion stand?
Yeah, this war caused a historic shift in public opinion on how Americans view the Middle East conflict. What are we talking about here? Who voters sympathize more with, the Israelis or the Palestinians? Back in October of 2023, it was the Israelis by 48 points. Look at this shift. Now we're talking about the Palestinians by a point. I looked back at every single poll that I could possibly find since this question was first asked in the 1980s. This is the first time ever in which the Palestinians had any sort of lead on this particular question. It's very clear that this war caused a historic shift away from the Israeli position in the Middle East conflict and towards the Palestinians when it comes to who Americans and voters sympathize with. This, of course, was led by Democrats, because what are we talking about? We went from Democrats favoring the Israelis by 26 points to the Palestinians by 46 points. That is a shift, John, quick math in my head, of over 70 percentage points. But overall, the first time ever in which more Americans sympathize with the Palestinians over the Israelis. Truly a historic shift.
It's a big shift overall, a big shift within the Democratic Party. What about Republicans?
Yeah, it's not just Democrats, though, in which we have seen a real shift of opinion. Even within the Republican ranks, this war has caused real division. What are we talking about? Well, we often talk about by age within the Democratic Party, but what about by age within the Republican ranks? Who Republicans sympathize more with? You see a massive, huge age divide. Those 50 and over, what we see amongst Republicans is they sympathize more with the Israelis by 66 points. But look at the voters under the age of 50. They do sympathize with the Israelis, but just by 25 points. We're talking about a 40-point difference, with the youngest Republicans being far more sympathetic to the Palestinian position than older Republicans are.
That's a huge gap right there. Let's just say that.
That is a huge gap, and I think it's going to be very interesting to see how the Republican Party adjusts going forward.
All right, the news of the ceasefire deal, the possible return of all Israeli hostages, what's likely to be the reaction to that?
Yeah, I think Americans are really going to like it. And why do I say that? Because just look at the polling. A permanent Israeli-Hamas ceasefire, that is negotiating one. Highly important, that is extremely or very important, 51% of Americans. And then you see somewhat important, 31%. Over 80% of Americans said the idea of negotiating a ceasefire, a permanent one, was at least somewhat important. So the bottom line is I think a lot of Americans are really going to like this.
They want this over. Harry, and really interesting numbers this morning. Thank you very much.
John.
And as the president is celebrating this breakthrough in Gaza, he is set to convene his cabinet for a meeting this morning. He has also said that he may travel to the Middle East in the coming days. CNN's Elaine Treen live at the White House this morning. It seems there's going to be a lot going on there today. What are you hearing?
No, absolutely. And look, I mean, people in the building behind me, Kate, of course, are celebrating this. The president himself speaking with a lot of reporters last night, eager to get this news out. One of the things that he told Sean Hannity with Fox News, he said that there was, quote, no dark clouds around all of this. And he also laid out what could come next, because as Nick...
So the same president, when we hear Big Mama run out, nobody not chat to him and put visa front of them people here. Yeah? The same President Glad said this I got through. American. Can you remember me take my stand long time? American not in this. That I want to cry. British, them up there, so them say no, too much of this, no. Innocent people are there. Too much stuff. Yeah? You have flat note, people place it wrong. I'm going to show you the terror. But here what really vexed me now. Oh, the opposition came out and make them speech and big dirty thinking, mama. Spin that. And I tell you, say they must give enough visa. And then for mind them own business. And look about Jamaican business. When in the 70s we have terror attack. We don't look about one business and people attack us. Yeah? So you know, safe when you have these kind of things, whether state terrorism and all kind of things. It's bullshit. Yeah? And them have evil art. Look on this. Yeah, big mama, yeah, them will come back. Hear this.
Understanding foreign affairs would jeopardize relationship with Jamaica's biggest trading partner, the U.S. Listen.
One has to be cautious. It doesn't mean that you cower and keep silent, because that is not an option. But you have to do it in a way. There's a Jamaican term. Your hand in a lion mouth.
That is bullshit. Yeah, remember me I play the documentary when the plane go down. Barbados stand up big and broad, you know. America used to stand up, Jamaica used to stand up big and broad. This is bullshit. This guy not supposed to step on no era nothing. Him is a destroyer to Jamaica, you know. Him a nastiness, you know. Just politically aligned and putting out garbage. We are talking about humanity. And this guy come up with visa. And said the government and you couldn't perform without visa. So when me just show you, and by the way, if when them things they continue, it raises up things for you. Because I come from around this other things that come from around this, so but war in the world, it put hardship on people to hear. Yeah, it makes it hard for to put hardship on people. So him not understand this. Yeah? So when him run out, him's a nastiness. Him's a nastiness. Yeah? Just the back party and come up with shit. Me I show you how this guy now have no brain and how him think. This guy shouldn't depend on them to take him license. Hear little evil speech when I make no sense. And some know say them dumb too, you know. Hear this. But and this hurt me, you know, bad. We can't another guy here. Him a shit. Hear this.
You take time to draw it out. Yeah? And frankly, Trump is not going to be here in another 4 or 5 years.
What this have to do with Trump? Trump I go for the ceasefire tomorrow morning. I'm glad for it. But tell us how bullshit him that talk with that to do with Trump.
He's gonna be gone in 3 years, if not before. Wait him out. He's gonna do a lot of damage, as he has been doing.
Can you imagine 2 million people are wait out? He might tell you about wait out what? The world runs. When I talk a be a bullshit, you know? So I talk to Andrew Holness, because Andrew take advice from this garbage. When I know no, when I talk is bullshit. We are talking about humanity. We are talking about crisis where people, hundreds, thousands of people, over 60,000 get desecrated, wipe out, limbs. Y'all find nothing. I hear this nastiness.
A lot of damage. But Holness and Johnson Smith have to take care of Jamaica's best interest.
Jamaica best interest. Jamaica best interest. What Jamaica best interest? To see a peaceful world. So when you get a talk on that table, you know business of the country one time like this. Make sure your voice be heard. It will be the biggest voice in the room. And you have to stir and you make sure, and you have to firm upon what you have said to you know. If they might take it for a girl, they might take it for a little yes boy. Yeah? All right, continue.
While extending support and solidarity, remember that word? Solidarity with the people of Gaza and Palestine. But we can't do it in a way that is confrontational and adversarial.
What confrontation? If you have a vote, unless you're in a UN, if you're in a UN, you have equal vote with everybody else. That is not the confrontational or nothing. Your vote a conscience. It's dead written. When my talk is bullshit. This guy not supposed to even, this just a speech of them to take him off of the air. Mr. My garbage. Now, nothing in him for humanity. This guy evil. He's a piece of shit.
So this man, who's not given to anything but vengeance and transaction. And let me put it bluntly, he will simply say, if Jamaica, okay, we're going to take away the visas. Yeah? And take away the Jamaican visa. Which government in Jamaica could survive if it is a situation where it is thought, at least because of the action or what you have said, you now occasion.
Which country can run like this? An action and what you have said, but only, remember Trump and the peace. A matter of fact, him did want the Nobel Peace Prize. He not get it. In which the person they give. When know about foreign affairs, man. He not get it. Him did want it. He might give him something and say him and make peace. Everything out of him out is garbage. Move in front of me. But me I'm gonna show you, yeah, me I'm gonna show you what it do. The opposition come out and say if it stand up strong and these terms running at the way and at about paper, a visa. Yeah? That's not sure everybody else on US side and that don't look good neither. Not like that in other people they made. Because you have equal vote. US have beat up ours. US won't stop that. Yes? When I'm saying so it's garbage. And then you have million run and put it out, it's garbage. But if you condemn Big Mama, you put life. You rather put life, you rather people get desecrated by the millions to save one little piece of paper. I remember we get terror attack too. We get it. Remember them but don't even tell them now. Terror attack. JP do it. But through CIA. Remember them drop the plane. Yeah? I'm not going to show you who dropped the plane now. But before me do that, that's why I say what I condemn Big Mama. Me I just struggle to memory. Hey, me I put back on the memory. You know what really happened. The plane could have dropped in a Kingston. Kill half of our people. Bam! 73 dead. Terror. State terrorists. State terrorism. State sponsored terrorism. Me I put it out and make it just have a mind no. Because some of my brain working, you see, knowledge of power. Yes, knowledge of power. And when you know something, you feel always, because some people don't remember this, you know, what me I put out, you know. And some don't know. Them born after them don't know. Some have put out these things from my channel a learning channel. Yeah, and remind the people them said, come on, we do a step. In the 70, 76, them nearly assassinate Monday too. Yes? Them drop a plane, 73, most the Cuban die. Yeah? Coming like enough people forgot this. But let me show you something. Them have a ceasefire for go on with tomorrow. It doesn't right now. So a Big Mama attack is bullshit. He does evil himself here. Look on this. Look how people are suffer. When them hear the ceasefire, my people, them have walk more than 20 miles. Them not have no food, you know. Germs are kill them too, you know. And tell me what, when we couple it up, 2 years worth of this, them have harsh winter too, you know. Them have harsh winter. Nothing to sleep. Them just struggle up. We depend on the earth of what some people are play God. BB are play God. And I do war, crime. Because I'm a soldier, when soldier war, you know. No care which country, you know. You can't level down people place like this is war crime. We know about war crime. We know, but you still Big Mama run out to tell Holness for back visa, paper, over millions of lives. Oh, people listen to this garbage. Eh? Look on this.
By around midday, it still leaves Israel occupying more than half of the Gaza Strip. Clause 4 of the ceasefire agreement says that the IDF will not return to areas they've withdrawn from as long as Hamas fully implements its side of the bargain. Is that Benjamin Netanyahu's decision? Donald Trump's? It's not clear. Potentially, there are some big problems ahead in the implementation of the Trump 20-point peace plan, which is...
I want to show something. I want to show something. I'm going to say, maybe try it as well. I want to show something as well. Another I want to show. Let me see this. I want to show something before that. Yeah. See, let me see for that one now. No, I don't want to show the gardens. I want to show something quick. I just piece of that look while I say. But I don't want that piece. I want to see the whole. I want to see the whole thing. Well, they might show the people them a walk. The man them a fire. People them a walk, 20 miles. Let me see this. I want to see this. See that?
Around midday, it still
Look
leaves
at
Israel occupying more than half of the Gaza Strip.
Yeah, I hate this. Let me say buy it. Let me say buy it, this, man. No, I'm not get the whole of this. Let me say I can't get the whole of this. I'm not get the whole of that. So I want to get the whole of that and show you something. I want to get that. Right? You see that when I show you the people them a walk 20 miles and them still a shell them 20 hungry everything. Can't find clothes, can't find nothing. When I say nothing, I find that and show no. Nothing. Woman I look for her house, she don't know where she'll sleep, that in mattress, everything they secrete up. It touch you. Everything gone. Remember them lose family and all, Those some of them are just them alone. They're not nobody else. Yes? Yeah. And this, I want to see Big Mama come out and her back. Make we look on the 1976 Cuban terror attack. The Cubana terror attack. Remind yourself this. Watch this. Watch this. Move this.
455.
What's this?
Cubana Flight 455. This feature presents Barbados' response to the bombing of Cubana Flight 455.
Cubana 455, we are requested immediately landing.
The Barbados government took this incident very seriously. The terrorist incident took place on the 6th of October, a very important day in Barbados.
Wednesday, October the 6th, 1976, dawned like a regular Wednesday in Barbados. It was a day that held great promise for the island. A few weeks earlier, the nation had completed a period of political campaigning which saw the election of the Barbados Labour Party government led by Tom Adams. The new cabinet members had taken the oath of office and had started their ministerial work. However, on this day in question, attention was focused on our historic capital.
Because there had just been a very historic change of government, and the new administration was having its first parliamentary sitting.
It was the official opening of Parliament, where the then acting Governor-General Sir William Douglas was poised to deliver what was known then as the throne speech.
To outline the policy of the new government. So the whole of Barbados was focused on that, 6th of October.
This session of our new Parliament commenced just over half an hour ago. Well, it's more than that now. And it now falls to me to outline my government's programme for the new parliamentary session.
Meanwhile, at the airport in Barbados, it seems to be a regular Wednesday with workers preparing for the arrival and departure of flights, including Cubana 455. Cubana de Aviación Flight 455 was a regular scheduled flight between Guyana and Havana, with stops at Piarco International Airport in Trinidad, Sewell International Airport in Barbados, and Kingston Norman Manley International Airport in Jamaica.
So this plane, remember when I listen to this code, it come to Jamaica too, you know. So it could have dropped in a Kingston and mash up enough more people. 73 dead. Terror attack. State sponsor terror attack. Just a reminder, 49 days ago. The 6th of October gone. Yes? Continue.
On this day in question, a 15-year-old Douglas DC-8 registered CU-T1201 was in use.
Ricky Clark, a local employee of another airline, had been a passenger on that flight when it arrived in Barbados approximately 45 minutes earlier. We came up from Guyana through Trinidad to Barbados on a very smooth ride, he said. The weather was good, and the people on board were quite friendly. They were mostly young people, and we engaged in friendly chats all the way on the flight. I can hear them now, talking at one time in English, at another in Spanish. I can hear the students talking of how many languages they can speak. I can hear the laughter.
A Barbadian nurse, Sheila Harris, who was at the time working with the QEH, was booked to travel on Cubana Flight 455 to Jamaica for medical attention. While she was preparing to make her way to the airport, she received an important call which gave her reason to divert and make a stop at the hospital before proceeding to the airport.
She said, "Would you please bring all your documents?" I said, "What kind of documents you're talking about?" She said, "Your house and land paper." I said, "For what? But you have copies of them." She said, "Please do as I asked." And I carried them over to her.
Nurse Sheila Harris missed that flight. It is just after 1 p.m. The plane is given clearance to taxi the runway for taking off to Kingston, Jamaica, then on to its final destination, Havana, Cuba.
Cubana 455, Roger, clear to start, temperature 30. Okay,
We know that on board were 57 Cuban nationals, 24 of whom were athletes on Cuba's gold medal fencing team. We know that there were 11 Guyanese nationals, 9 of whom were students who had been awarded government scholarships and who were traveling to Havana to pursue studies in medicine. We know that there were 5 citizens of the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, but what we did not know was that the tentacles of international terrorism had reached our shores. At approximately 8 minutes into the flight and at an altitude of 1,800 feet, a bomb exploded on board the plane, starting a fire. The passengers then lived the most horrifying 10 minutes of their lives as the plane turned into a scorching coffin. Captain Wilfredo Perez radioed to the control tower. The cockpit voice recorder captured the last terrifying moments of Cubana Flight 455 at 1:24 p.m. Meanwhile, at Sewell International Airport, Pat Callender was the acting deputy airport manager.
I was talking to Allman, controller called Allman, and he suddenly announced, hold on, Cubana is going down, because the Cubana aircraft, I'd seen it on the ramp, they had taken off, it was a DC-8, and then he told me it was going down, so I knew that the airplane had taken off. But when he told me it was going down, I still was a little puzzled. So they said came back and he told me there was an explosion on board the aircraft and the pilot is trying to get back to Barbados. He said, "I'll call you back."
Cubana 455, you return to the field. The flight is 1724. Cubana 455, Sierra. Okay, Sewell, Cubana 455, we're requesting immediately landing. Cubana 455, you're clear to land.
The captain tried returning the plane to Sewell, but its passengers and crew were already doomed.
The time is 17:27. Cubana 455, yeah, full emergency west, on standby.
As the plane approached the shores, it was rapidly losing altitude and control. Rather than crashing into the Paradise Beach and killing those on the ground, the pilot courageously banked the plane towards the water back out to sea, where it crashed in a ball of fire.
The time is 1. ¿Le podemos ayudar en algo?
Then when he did call back, he told me they'd lost contact with the aircraft. So at that point, I went into Gibbons. I said, but we have to call the Prime Minister. He's responsible for national security, and this is something that, we could never imagine.
At that time, it was the first mid-air bombing of a civilian airliner in the Western Hemisphere.
So he gave me permission to call.
First, we get a terror back in 1976. We not come away, kill off the people, kill off how much people it kill. This was a state terror attack. You hear who do it too. Yeah, when I hear them did have a mandate too, Yes. So when I hear them come up with foolishness, they throw me off. And like everybody just run per line and chat about a bullshit. Yeah? Yes. You understand? This throw me off. That's why I have a big mama, Yes. Because this is the same party head and betting with terrorism, JLP. Yes, dangerous. Continue.
The Clerk of Parliament. And the Clerk of Parliament, like any good civil servant, he said, but, Adams was attending his first opening of Parliament, and the acting Governor General was Sir William Randolph Douglas.
Interestingly enough, while this is occurring, Barbadians sitting in the Parliament building and those following via the media were learning from civilian Douglas that the name Sewell International Airport was to be changed to Grantley Adams International Airport.
Which my government considers marks a first move to honor an outstanding Barbadian will be put in motion right away.
This big ceremony, so he didn't want to go interrupt him. So I got to more or less threaten him. I said, well, at least I'm going to give you a little note to give the Prime Minister, because he was even reluctant to do that. But I gave him a little note, and he gave it to the Prime Minister, and then he called me back a few minutes later and told me that the Prime Minister is on the way to the airport.
Meanwhile, Sheila Harris has reached her destination at the QEH.
And the minute I got into her office, she never even had time to tell me have a seat. Her telephone rang, and she just went and answered it. And she said, that was Sewell just called to find out if you were on the flight. The plane just went down. And the adrenaline in our body, I walked the same time.
Shortly after the crash, a flotilla of small boats led by Coast Guard launches set out in search of survivors. But all they found was a spreading patch of oil, some floating debris, and the occasional badly mutilated body which they took ashore at the Harbour Police Pier in Bridgetown.
And I went down there with her, and I picked up body parts, a man's arm, like that, the phalanges all down here, full of tattoos, and a child hand with a little finger ring and ID bracelet. I don't know whether it is a woman or a girl or a boy. And then I went back into the stage I was in.
Officials investigating the crash said they suspected that the aircraft might have been sabotaged. Their suspicion tied in with an anonymous phone call to a Miami newspaper that a bomb was put on board the plane by Cuban exiles. The sabotage theory was further supported by reports of an in-flight explosion. The plane was on its way from Guyana to Cuba via Trinidad, Barbados, and Jamaica. Shortly after takeoff from Barbados, the captain radioed that he was in difficulty. According to the Sewell Control Tower, as it was then called, he was apparently trying to return to Barbados when the aircraft plunged into 900 feet of water 3.5 miles off the coast of the island. It was almost 3 hours after the crash when the first badly mutilated bodies were brought ashore.
You got on a boat, you insisted that you go on this boat, so you just felt the need to go in the boat down to the on the sea.
On the
to
sea,
collect,
yeah.
yes.
And I had to pick up body parts, and they was putting them in a big modest box and take them back to EH Mall. And you know, when I got home, I couldn't eat. It really affected me.
The plane was carrying 62 Cubans, of whom 23 were crew members, 11 Guyanese, and 5 North Koreans. The victims included the Cuban fencing team, which was returning home from the Caribbean Youth Championships in Caracas, where it won all 8 gold medals.
So them took out them fencing team and the Cuban fencing team dead too, you know. You hear this? This is how we got you in the 70s, yeah?
Benjamin Adams came up there, and I told him, well, if something has happened here, the people who did it would probably be foreigners. We didn't use the word expatriates then. And they will try to get out of the island, I believe, as soon as possible.
The 2 men who had placed the bombs on the aircraft, 2 Venezuelans, Freddy Lugo and Ricardo Lozano, they had gotten off the plane in Barbados. They somehow managed to get on a BWIA flight later that night, the night of the 6th, while Barbados was in consternation over the Cubana tragedy. And they made it back to Trinidad. Somehow the airport authorities in Barbados did not pick them up when they were getting on that flight to Trinidad. However, they subsequently discovered that these 2 men had absconded the island. They were able then to relay that information to the authorities in Trinidad.
The message was sent through, and the police acted right away. The airport was temporarily closed. They checked everybody there, then who had left the airport.
And on early in the morning of the 7th, the Trinidad police were able to arrest both of them at the Holiday Inn Hotel in Trinidad. So that's the 7th. That's the 7th. The Barbados government took this incident very seriously.
But Adams was very decisive. He gave instructions right away.
In fact, immediately after the downing of the aircraft, the Civil Aviation Division of Barbados launched a civil aviation investigation into what had happened. But even more importantly, the Barbados police launched their own investigation. And on the 9th of October, then Senior Superintendent Orville Durant, top-notch detective, was sent to Trinidad to get involved in the investigation with Lozana and Freddy Lugo, who were in police custody in Trinidad.
We didn't get the name then. So terror come at us sure. That plane could have dropped in Kingston. Could have, yeah, okay? The bomb go off when them rise up. I come to Kingston, you know. Them set the bomb, you know. Who sponsor this? Who the thing sponsor it? When I see the report, who the thing sponsor this? So when you study or you have state terror, sponsor terror attack and all kind of things, you know how things going on. And you have to have art for civilian. That's why we carry in a big mama, you know. You don't know history, you don't know nothing at all. And then when them do just sit down and spread propaganda, most schools in license. Continue.
The very next day, the 10th of October, the Barbados government brought to Barbados a very highly qualified British expert in explosives, because there was still some uncertainty as to what had actually happened. So there was a suspicion that an explosion had taken place, but they needed to do the scientific investigation. So Mr. Newton, he came to Barbados on the 10th. By the 14th of October, just a little over 1 week after the downing of the plane, the acting Governor General of Barbados established a commission of inquiry into the incident. He appointed Supreme Court Judge Justice Denise Williams to head the commission of inquiry. There were 3 commissioners, a Mr. Thomas Went and a Mr. William Howes, in addition to Justice Williams. Mr. Durant, having conducted his investigations in Trinidad, then went to Caracas. And fortunately, Barbados had established an embassy in Venezuela, in Caracas.
So, I want to listen who do this, you know. You got hear who behind this. Who did behind Monday assassination attempt and who born on leaving time them same one. So you see the active thing. Yeah? Yes. That's why I tell you, say, hey, he's a different man, and them can't go in the head, you know. Yes,
just 2 years prior, in 1974. So, with the assistance of the then Charge d'Affaires, Dr. Carl Watson, Mr. Durant was able, Senior Superintendent Durant, was able to carry out quite an effective investigation in Venezuela. He secured, with the help of the Venezuelan authorities, much documentary evidence taken from the workplaces and the homes of Freddy Lugo and Ricardo Lozano in Venezuela. Then Mr. Senior Superintendent Durant went back to Trinidad by the 20th of October. By then, there was a major conference in Trinidad involving the nations of Trinidad and the governments of Trinidad and Tobago, Barbados, Cuba, Guyana, and Venezuela, to determine which country had jurisdiction over the event and where the culprits or the suspects should be tried. Unfortunately, it took them some time to resolve that. Eventually, it was decided that the trials would take place in Venezuela. In the meantime, Barbados pushed ahead with the Commission of Inquiry. The commissioners invited the governments of Cuba, obviously the country that was operating the airline, the country in which the airline was registered, Canada, because the Cubans had in fact hired the airline from Canada, the United States, because the airline had been manufactured in the United States, and of course Guyana and Venezuela. So they invited them to participate in the Commission of Inquiry, to have accredited representatives if they deem fit. The first session of the Commission of Inquiry took place on the 28th of October at the No. 1 Supreme Court in Bridgetown. On that same date, Lozano and Lugo were transported from Trinidad to Caracas. So the Commission of Inquiry started with substantive hearings on the 8th of November. And those hearings went on virtually on a daily basis until the 3rd of December. So approximately 1 month of actual hearings and taking of evidence. And so the point is that Barbados took this very seriously and was, showed a lot of integrity in how it investigated this incident. I have here the copy of the report of the Commission of Inquiry. This report was actually published in March of 1977. Of course, long before then, the commissioners had given their report to the Governor General, but this is the report that was published for public consumption. So it's a 101-page report, And a lot of people seem to have forgotten that we had such a commission of inquiry. I've made some photocopies of the relevant sections of the report, and I'd just like to maybe quote some of the important findings for you. So, having heard all the evidence, the commissioners came to the following findings. 1, the flight crew members were properly licensed and qualified for the flight. 2, the pilots carried out their flight duties in a professional manner. No actions of theirs could have averted this tragedy. 3, the aircraft were certificated and maintained in accordance with approved procedures. 4, an explosive device was detonated in the rear of the passenger cabin during flight.
Lisa, me read what you just say, you know. And you're right, you know. When you have inquiry, you notice it make public. We don't see nothing from anti-Holness them now. Continue.
5, a fire caused by the explosive device produced toxic gases which eventually incapacitated the flight crew. 6, the possibility of a second explosion cannot be discounted. 7, the aircraft crashed into the sea after the incapacitated pilots lost control. And then they go on to give an ultimate cause. The Commission of Inquiry determines that the cause of the loss of this aircraft and its occupants was the detonation of an explosive device at the rear of the cabin, which initiated an uncontrollable fire, producing toxic gases, resulting in eventual incapacitation of the pilots. So that was the ultimate cause. And, you know, back then, we're talking 1976, commercial aircraft, perhaps enough thought had not been given to what kind of material should be allowed in the interior of a commercial aircraft. So you had material in these aircraft that, if it caught fire, produced toxic gases. And this was perhaps the greatest contributor to the tragedy. Were it simply for the explosion, were it not for the fact that the fire burnt material inside the cabin, and that produced toxic gases, the plane might very well have made it back to Sewell Airport. The commissioners also went on to make recommendations, because they were carrying out an inquiry not simply into a criminal terrorist act, but also they were carrying out a civil aviation inquiry. And so they went on to make these important recommendations. The Commission of Inquiry recommends that the government of Barbados brings the following items formally to the attention of the International Civil Aviation Organization for dissemination to member states. B, research and regulatory action should be expedited to develop and require the use of materials in aircraft cabins that do not support combustion and do not produce toxic gases when exposed to high temperatures. That was a very important recommendation, because I think you will find that today the material that is used in the interior of commercial aircraft is of a nature that if a fire takes place, it will not produce toxic gases. So Barbados probably made a very significant contribution to civil aviation. C, the criteria for the certification of large commercial aircraft should include requirements for a positive means of smoke removal, particularly from the cockpit area. That was, again, significant because a big part of the difficulty that they had when the explosion took place was the smoke and the inability to get the smoke out of the cabin. So those are some of the recommendations. I think another aspect of the report that might be of some interest is they went on to consider alleged American involvement, because at the very outset of the inquiry, the Cuban representative, Cuba assigned a representative to represent Cuba, the government of Cuba, at the inquiry, as did the United States of America. And the Cuban representative, Senor Martinez, took the position at the very outset.
I want to listen this keenly, you know. Listen this, can I have it? Listen.
That the United States should not be permitted to take part in the inquiry because there was a lot of evidence to the effect that they were implicated in some manner. The Commission did not accept the Cuban argument and permitted the Americans to be represented. But in their report, they included a segment in which they looked at alleged American involvement. And after surveying the relevant evidence, they conclude with this paragraph, and I'll just read the part of the concluding paragraph, and I quote, "In our view, an overall assessment of the evidence provides some ground for asserting that Lozano and Lugo did visit the American embassy on October 6. This is the American embassy in Bridgetown. There was no attempt to lead evidence in contradiction, and no explanation for any such visit was given." Okay. So what that is referring to is the evidence of two Barbadian taxi drivers who testified. One taxi driver testified that it was he who picked up these two men from Sewell Airport. Remember, these men get on the Cubana flight in Trinidad. The flight flies to Barbados. Either somewhere along that journey from Trinidad to Barbados, or when the plane lands on the tarmac at Sewell Airport in Barbados, they plant these bombs in the cabin. They get off the plane in Barbados, and the taxi driver testifies that he picked up these two men and transported them to Bridgetown, and that when he got to the Wharf Road, he inquired of them where in Bridgetown they wanted him to drop them off, and they said to the embassy, and he took them right in front, the building in which the U.S. Embassy was housed.
When you hear this, no, them things you can't move. Hey, no, for one people never even know say we have a terror attack with the airport, with the aircraft head to Jamaica, then Cuba. But a good thing it dropped there, so. For it never explode till when it land in Jamaica and drop in Kingston. They kill half for people them same way. 73 people still there. See? But more could have died. Even in Barbados, more could have died. Let me continue. So that's why I say I can't a big mama them, you know, because it's when you know your history, like me, I like bring it out like this, you know. Yes, I like bring it out like this. Continue. I'm not a big mama them, man.
They then made their way from Bridgetown to the Holiday Inn Hotel. They checked in at the Holiday Inn. And a second taxi driver testifies that Later in that evening, somewhere around about going on to 5 o'clock, these two men contracted his services to take them into Bridgetown. And they said to him that they were going back to the American embassy.
Okay.
So he testified that Broad Street was blocked off because of the official opening of Parliament. But so he went up to Fontabelle, the area of the Advocate, and he dropped them off as close as he could to the American embassy. But they had said to him that they were going back to the American embassy. So hence that portion of the Commission of Inquiry's report, in which the Commission of Inquiry finds that there was very good ground for asserting that they did visit the American embassy on the 6th of October. Some years ago, I produced this book on the Cubana. I call it the Cubana story. And I just want to quote to you, I have an essay in the book, and I want to quote to you the concluding, one of the concluding paragraphs of that essay, an essay entitled The Journey from Terror to Love and Life. And I quote, "Almost 30 years after the tragic events of 6th October 1976, Mr. Ricardo Alarcón, the President of Cuba's National Assembly of People's Power, paid the ultimate compliment to the governments and people of Barbados and Trinidad and Tobago when he publicly stated that, and I quote, Barbados and Trinidad, it must be said, acted with great dignity and honor," end of quote. And he acknowledged the, quote, "meticulous, rigorous, serious investigation done by people who respect themselves, people from countries that are small, but which know how to respect their sovereignty."
That, Big Mama, you hear this? Barbados are like one of our parish, them, you know. Like one of our little parish, one of our big parish, one of our parish. But yet still them respect them sovereignty. You notice how the Prime Minister talk about? And always a bun out against Wagwan all over the world. Yeah, when a corruption, she come out and speak up. But somewhere Big Mama hear the opposition attack and feeling, hey, I truly know it hurt me, you know. Then if move him lice, in my germs. Let me continue. Let me play back that little part there. Yeah? Respect the sovereignty. Hear this.
But which know how to respect their sovereignty, end of quote. That statement makes me feel very proud that the Cuban people had such respect for the efforts made by the Barbadian authorities to investigate this matter in a very serious way. Also making me very proud is the fact that the government of Barbados in 1998 established that monument to the 73 victims, the 57 Cubans, the 11 Guyanese, and the 5 North Koreans who perished. That monument at Paynes Bay. And you know, I learned from Dame Billy Miller the genesis of that monument, that as Foreign Minister of Barbados, she had paid a visit to Cuba, and she had gone into the Museum of the Revolution in Cuba, and she saw this massive photograph of a massive meeting in Cuba's Revolutionary Square being addressed by Fidel.
En la destrucción del avión de Cubana en Barbados.
And when she asked the Cubans, well, what was this meeting all about? Because it was reputed to be the single largest public meeting ever held in Cuba, a crowd of over 1 million people. And she was informed, well, that was the meeting that was held the day after the 6th of October Cubana tragedy. And Dame Billy said to me, it was then that she really got to understand what a significant event this had been in the life of the Cuban people. And she came away from that experience with the resolve that Barbados had to construct a memorial to the victims.
We dedicate this monument to those who lost their lives on the sea, our shores. Grant them eternal rest. Comfort their relatives and friends who continue to feel pain each year or each moment when they remember. May today's ceremony deepen our faith in goodness, because in spite of the tragic loss of life, here we are remembering and paying respect to those who innocently died. May today's ceremony remind us of the destruction that selfishness and violence cause. So we commend this monument to you. May people, when they see it, remember not only those who died, but the call to be peacemakers.
This evening's occasion is a time for healing. It affords us an opportunity to put a brutish episode behind us forever, to look to a future of peace, a new dawn of such international understanding that men will be moved to beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks. Barbados will always remember, and may their souls rest in peace.
Señor Primer Ministro Owen Arthur.
Thank you, Mr. Prime Minister Owen Arthur.
Gracias, hermanos de Barbados.
Thank you, brothers and sisters from Barbados.
Gracias, hermanos antillanos.
Thank you, Antillean brothers and sisters.
Gracias, compatriotas del mundo.
Thank you, brothers and sisters of the world.
The Caribbean Sea has claimed the mortal remains of most of the passengers of Flight 455. They are gone, but not forgotten. Today, we honor and remember them all. This monument will be a lasting reminder, not of cowardly acts of terrorism or mutilated bodies, but of bonds forged among four nations, by businessmen, a sports team, students, an airline crew, and ordinary citizens. It will also be a beacon of bright hope for the future.
And so, every year we go there on the 6th of October to pay our respects.
As part of its constitution, Cuba has ratified its condemnation and rejection of terrorism in all its forms. And indeed, Cuba has maintained a manifestly clear and transparent position in the fight against terrorism.
And I'm so proud as well that in 2022, Barbados was able to produce a resolution to CARICOM calling on CARICOM and Cuba to designate the 6th of October CARICOM Cuba Day Against Terrorism.
Sure.
And that was agreed to by both the leadership of CARICOM and the leadership of Cuba. And so every year now, we commemorate this day, not just as a day that is significant to Cuba and Barbados and Guyana, North Korea, Trinidad and Tobago, but a day that is of significance to the entire region. And I hope that someday we will go from simply a CARICOM Cuba Day Against Terrorism to a United Nations International Day Against Terrorism.
In 2008, I accompanied Sheila Harris to the monument for the first time. There, she pondered on what could have been her fate.
I feel now. Shall I say a prayer?
Oh, sure.
Dear God, this is the first time I ever come down here. Lord, remember those families who lost their loved ones. Even me, Lord. I am numb. Cause my name could be over here.
She numb. Because her name could have depended that. She was a nurse, you know. And she leave on the plane, come to Jamaica for do some things, yeah? Yes, go a doctor Jamaica, was a nurse. And she said, him call her about some papers that save she. Them take it down. What happened to the guys then? One of them must say they are US and all kind of things, and yes. You see, I think them they do. Two of them, one of them must do some years, like 20 years and less. But other one and other people, never get on a run down by him too. But me finish with Big Mama. Big Mama. It's to show you, you know, if you have humanitarian spirit in your brother, stop jump out and run up and down and play politics, because that party help aiding and betting the downfall of Sir Manley, yeah, and they'll assassinate him in 76. 80, them drop a plane 76, you know. You see where that come from, it's so much people ask. 80, them burn down even tied home, you know. Get out Monday too. You see? You see the kind of attack. But we country them come commander. Eh? It's a goddamn disgrace. Now we see BB a mass of ground so where even the Americans turn against that. Because where them use as war crime, you know, when you have two nations at war, and then one nation turn around now and start mash up the civilian, the wicked. That's equal war crime. When you flatten out people place, desecrate from baby to old people. People in a business in a nothing at all. Them just try to get by. Them not have no food, them not have nothing. Yeah, I want to make it worse out them place to them have cold winters. Yeah. No food, nothing, germs that kill them, no hospital. The man are desecrate up the whole place, and then Big Mama I put fees, I put paper over humanity. Here the opposition will have to come out and speak truth to power to, you know. Even though nobody now chat to that nastiness. It hurt my man. You know it hurt me. Watch this.
Hamas in Gaza is now around 12 hours old. The partial withdrawal of Israeli forces from the territory triggered a mass return of people back to shattered towns and villages. But the Israeli Defense Forces still remain in control of at least half of Gaza. Nevertheless, in a matter of hours, as many as 200,000 Palestinians made the long journey back home on foot after being displaced by the fighting. Now, though, the bombing has stopped. Well, the ceasefire came into effect today once it had been approved by the Israeli government. Under the deal, Israel pulled back its troops to agreed positions in Gaza, marked here, as you can see, by the yellow line. However, the IDF says it will continue to remove any immediate threat. Now, with the withdrawal triggered a 72-hour countdown to midday on Monday, by which time Hamas must release the remaining 20 living Israeli hostages and return the remains of 28 who had...
So, you have 20 hostages and 28, but you have killed some innocent people. Because Hamas terrorizing for them people over there, so you know. Yes. Man. Them not live down, them just live there, you know. Them back against the wall. Can you imagine little girls and boys? People who need hospital attention. Them don't get that. Them have no water, no food. The coldness are chippy now. And them live some more than like 2 years now. Right now, like this. And then Big Mama run out with them bullshit. And I talk about hand in a lion's mouth and vision mighty beast of your piece of shit, yo. Eh? If you don't stand up and speak, you know what I call you. Let me tell you this. You see me? I'm not about to nothing. I'm not about to mankind. You have to speak truth to power. I'm in a business who the man is. I don't care. If me see something that's not right and me a chat about it, you can't come confront me and tell me I must chat. You can't do that. I don't business. Might not be right. Will never. Not in my book. Not in my book. See? This is just me. Because everybody cover and do what they want to do. This is a different man per earth. Me. Because one day, you know, my eye them are shut to, you know. And even them, for them want to. See? But just do the right thing. If you have a heart, man, Big Mama must say the on the radio station. Let me play about this. Look when the people them have to walk over 20 miles. Because they may ceasefire, them not have nowhere to go, you know. Them not have nowhere. Them they are unarmed people. Over 60,000 of them perish already. They say, oh, give me that 20 and give me this. And then you just, it's like somebody blame Jamaica. All right. So a BB did that near we. Can you imagine? Him then near us. And a Jamaica, him do so. Who would have put up with that? Would not want everybody come for help and hear down. Can you imagine a Jamaica man drop them thing there, pan? We not put up with that. Yeah. Eh? You say a handful of people and then you just destroy so much people, brother. And destroy civilian. And the same people that might destroy civilian, you know. When you think about the holy cast, you know. Yeah. You say how much million you like? 5 million? Yeah. And remember, no black people get perished. No black people got perished under Hitler. No people. Put in a Nazi cattle train and thing. That remember, you know, you're war with soldiers, but you catch people and deal with them like this. It's wrong. See? And then in a living time now, in our time, we what a man now do. Look there. And millions that, you know. Yeah. He might get to do this. And nobody must say nothing to him. You can't hide and bet to one man like this, man, a war crime. It's wrong. We don't business this wrong. Play it back.
Is now around 12 hours old. The partial withdrawal of Israeli forces from the territory triggered a mass return of people back to shattered towns and villages. But the Israeli Defense Forces still remain in control of at least half of Gaza. Nevertheless, in a matter of hours, as many as 200,000 Palestinians made the long journey back home on foot after being displaced by the fighting.
They might walk over 20,000, 200,000. They might go one back, but to nothing, you know. Look on people. People are dropped down and dead in this. Nothing no stop you from winter, the breeze are blow. You walk for how much mile? In a like desert to backside. This good. Big Mama talk about, look about our business. Our business, let me tell you, anything that happen in the world, our business. One word. Yeah. Can't forget oil from around that side there. And you get certain things to run your thing. Remember, you know, without the oil to generate, we're stuck, you know. We're stuck. We're stuck. We're stuck on the island. I remember when I eat our grow, we eat, so we can't even feed ourselves. So we depend on the outside world, but we're for evil to the world. You can't believe this? Eh? Look on this. It's inhumane, man. Look here. It's our people. It could have been we. Look here.
Now, though, the bombing has stopped. Well, the ceasefire came into effect today once it had been approved by the Israeli government. Under the deal, Israel pulled back its troops to agreed positions in Gaza, marked here, as you can see, by the yellow line. However, the IDF says it will continue to remove any immediate threat. Now, with the withdrawal triggered a 72-hour countdown to midday on Monday, by which time Hamas must release the remaining 20 living Israeli hostages and return the remains of 28 who are dead. For its part, Israel must release 250 Palestinians from...
Where you say, brother, in every country, where I say, well, them can't do it. You cannot kill people, you work with people, you cannot kill people like this. If you come back a handful of people, 2 million people, you have a handful of people you are with. The man not even a soldier. Don't, we don't run with these things right now. America upon this right now, it's wrong. It's wrong. And then who are called terrorists? You cannot do terrorism and I say you combat terrorism. You can't do terrorism for combat terrorism. Eh? You are combat terrorism where them are terrorize the people them too, you know. But the same people them and I help them, you kill them. So you help Hamas I kill the same people them are living in Gaza too, you know. So you are bigger terrorists. You think a man for drop them? Alright. You see what me say? A 9/11 per one building in a New York. That is terrorism. That is terrorism. 3,000 people are dead. Can you imagine 60,000? Can you imagine you have your wife and your baby them with you now? What is? JR. Yeah. Can you imagine you have your wife and baby in your house and then drop a 10-ton pound? Your mother, everybody. Eh? For a handful of people, then the same thing Andrew Holness do right now, man. Them going and get to them, look how them go kill the little youth. But them also mistaken identity now. You get things and say you go from a you just go kill a youth and then plant a gun pan him. Is a terrorism too. Is a local terrorism against our own people in Jamaica where the police in Jamaica do right now. Them can just catch you and shoot you. These are acts of terror. These are inhumane. Them figure out the head too. Don't believe in this. You are give life. You can't just get up and take people life like this. Eh? Which country allow this? You think Israel could have mad for go ramp with America, them go there England and in them place and just have a mix up? You don't see something different. Remember the armed forces they are fighting. You know? So a war plane against war plane, a ship against ship and thing. No. We are just a terrorists. But you are the terrorism. What terrorism? You are fight, you call them terrorists. But you still look from building. And so, oh man, and that, you know, and you take it down with everybody in it. But them can't even talk. Even if them are use you, and when them call the kind of shield now, human shield. You don't kill the people them too, man. You don't help kill them, man. It's wrong. It's wrong. And everybody know this. And by the way, out there you have Christian live out there too, yeah? But live out there, this wrong. It's wrong. Yes. Wrong, man. Look here.
Jail, as well as 1,700 people detained in Gaza during the war. Remember, all this is...
No, but listen now. Remember, Israel couldn't war. Them couldn't war with the US. Because you remember, say US. Remember when they put it out there, you know. Remember, I know the thing. I know my history, man. But I'm going to just use the term. Then that's something different. You understand? It right now, people are get up and stand up against this. Can remember life for life, you know. But you can't just take, you know, all right. You say you lose some people because of terrorism. They turn when you kill over 60,000. How that justify? And then you are flatten down the people them place around them and them are starved and dead like and not even like it cannot be justified on earth. You can't turn your eye on this and give BB them kind of power. Yeah. Him to go what him for charge war crime. Him for charge. Enough people in the US at them places say him for charge war crime. You don't do this. You don't do it. Yeah.
Part of phase 1 of the agreement, a deal on phase 2, the rebuilding and future governance of Gaza, still needs to be hammered out, with much of the detail sketchy and far from settled.
Look on this.
Israel does not allow international journalists into Gaza. We're not.
So, all right, yeah, there. Remember, a British this. Israel not allow international journalists. Why them not want journalists come in? Because them are do terrorism. Them are do war crime. Now, if you are deal with the thing, but on level, you say me I look for this. Same like when you can go house to house because them do that. Them training, Israel them well training, and them know the battle. But this time you wipe out the place because you destroy the place. You lock out even journalists. Who that do that? Yeah, be a worse than Hitler. People be telling the truth. If we say no, we don't like what Hitler go on with them, oh, we allow you to do worse than Hitler in the modern days. We don't play hypocrite role around here. You apply it across the board, brother. You can't do that. I like them there. You can't do it. You are sitting and watch him and that's a Hitler wicked. But you watch him and desecrate the place. And then you must say nothing. Eh? America come speak out for the first. I'm going to show you where America come speak out and say it's wrong. It's right. Look on this. Look at.
Not allowed to see for ourselves what's going on. So Jeremy Bowen has the very latest from Jerusalem.
It must be a terrible journey, up to 20 miles on foot for thousands of Gaza's Palestinians, deprived by Israel's blockades of adequate food and clean water.
If that no move you don't have no heart, you're a human being. You have some AI. They may look like them arm. How much people this have returned? To over 200,000. Them have returned to nothing, to zero. Winter soon start. Winter. I did ask over here, so. We are talking about humanity now, you know. Yeah, man. Me a humanitarian, you know. See? You come out them here, 20 you see them fire as shell. You can't angle people like it's a slave thing, like it's wrong. This wrong. Look on this. Eh? Look at. Yeah, this are more than terrorize, a terrorist. Yeah, so this, remember you terrorize them, you know. All right. Look at. You have over 200,000. Them have in a mass? No. Them have got to a massive place where people are running up and down, but you take down them whole place completely. Destroyed. So in any way, you condemn them for death because you don't have to kill them with the bomb, you know. You starve them, remember, you know. In barricade, food must reach them people, over 2 million people, you know. You starve the people them to death. Then no medicine can reach them neither. No food can reach them. Then I just the sun and with a winter. So it's like I say, I just kill them and commit a big genocide in front of one another, do nothing. You can't tell me, say, we have genocide in a World War II and then you front of we do the same thing. And nobody must say no. This is wrong. It's wrong. You can't stand it wrong, brother. Yeah, look on this.
It must be a terrible journey, up to 20 miles on foot for thousands of Gaza's Palestinians, deprived by Israel's blockades of adequate food and clean water. A ride north in a car to Gaza City costs around £900. Impossible money for people who've lost everything. Earlier this morning,
Them have money for people. This I might go to these people, you know. Could be like me get the people. Right now, nobody, no cure low them are living in Jamaica now go through where them go through. Because it's still a day now you look up, you're under your tree like what, and you still can't hustle. The bomb now drop on your thing, but them not have nothing. When you don't have water for drink, I see water that will kill you. if you drink this, it kills you faster than if you not drink it. You know that, right? Dehydrate you, that kill you faster. You can't drink salt water. That kill you quicker. See? So, you see the water, you're thirsty, you don't have no food, and you walk 20 miles per foot. No for me right now, but we live, we can't walk 20 miles. Much as we do this, what them do. These are evil. Human suffering. For a handful of people where me live in a place and me can control them. What them do what me not join them and then me suffer so. Why not do me this? And to my family this. Me can't pick up for your brother. Yeah, you know God on earth. The whole we are mad, you know God. The whole we have a right to be here, you know God on earth for you do this. Eh? No. Wrong. Look here. Play it back.
Phase 2, the rebuilding and future governance of Gaza, still needs to be hammered out, with much of the detail sketchy and far from settled. Israel does not allow international journalists into Gaza. We're not allowed to see for ourselves what's going on. So Jeremy Bowen has the very latest from Jerusalem.
So you're not even allowed, the man lock up the place, BB, that you're not even allowed to see for yourself. So you have to have people for inside to do this. So like you just lock it and say, maybe just crush them. This wrong. We no business. So you tell me, say you got on earth. Let me ask you something. You think the rest of the world will allow some black man, one of the African nation, to do this to people? Say for the African nation over there, in a Europe, I do this to one of the Europe country. If they and them lock up, them don't allow it? Nigeria, one of them. So Nigeria can come to this to any nation in one of them places there. Any one of the country there. Your black country. You think that it will not stand? It would not. You couldn't even think of it. Eh? Come on now. Come on now. Eh? Look here.
It must be a terrible journey, up to 20 miles on foot for thousands of Gaza's Palestinians, deprived by Israel's blockades of adequate food and clean water. A ride north in a car to Gaza City costs around £900. Impossible money for people who've lost everything.
A ride, them have to walk, cost £900. How much is £900? Around 180,000 Jamaican. Put it like 20 to 1, 120, 200 to 1. Yeah. Yeah, 290. Like 180,000 Jamaican for one ride. Lost everything. And I walk, now have no food. Look on this. Look on
Earlier this morning, before Israel's military, the IDF, had pulled back, its tanks opened fire to warn the people not to move further along the road until the ceasefire. Crowd control.
Yeah, look, all right. Look how them have the crowd like it's a slave band. So them fire shell, you know, say no move till the seas, you know. Because if you come near, we will kill you now. Yeah? Yes. So and I want to, and I 200 to 1 or more than that now. Yeah? Yeah? All right, watch out.
Using shells. On social media, the IDF told them to stay on the coast road and warned that going near Israeli troops would endanger their lives.
Oh, what? Well, I understand what you asked to me. And I like 200 for 1. I'm more than 200 for 1 now. What? Crazy. All right, we used to use pound. Look much for the pound. Look back. All right. Look what the look at. No. Who really have a heart? Big dirty thinking, mama. Watch and learn. You come back. And like you come back, you walk, you know, and you're hungry, you know. You don't have no place, them have no garden, you know. But them have come back for more like sudden death. Because you look for your house and weather coming now. Yeah, the coldness are coming. You can't find no way. You don't have no water, you don't have no food, you don't have nothing. And then barricade it. These are evil. Evil. Yes, look at.
They're returning to a world of rubble in Gaza City. Fida Haraz wanted to find something, maybe a mattress, she said, as winter is coming. But she couldn't even find the ruins of her home, as there is so much destruction.
I knew it was levelled, but where is it? I can't find it. What do we do with our lives? Where will we live? It was a multi-storey building, but it's all gone.
It's clear that this last offensive by Israel into Gaza City flattened civilian homes on a massive scale.
That name war crime. Even the people them, and you know, and remember them have things with the people them long time, you know. But you flatten them. Not them, remember, you know, you load them are not the fighting. And you see them walk go home. When them are eat or so, them are look for mattress and sleep to survive. Survival. How them survive here, so I don't know. Eh? How you survive here, so? You can back a man and do this. And then when them lack of the thing that you know see it outside. When you see it, him know say, if it's show like this, it can move your heart. But you have to seek to go see what really are going on in there. You can't turn a blind eye. Don't do it. Don't do it. Me can't do this. That's why it hurt me now when Big Mama run out and chat shit about mouth in a lion's den and pull out and visa. You tell me, I'm play about Big Mama now and tell me what him say. Can you remember the opposition have to come and speak truth to power? Yeah, him is not in opposition. Nobody knows it's big 30 thinking, Mama. But I'm play back what him say now and tell me if it not green for you. Let me finish play this. Look here, Big Mama. Here, Big Mama now with PMP. Hear this. Hear this. I'm gonna move this. This is a goddamn sin. Yeah, Big Mama.
NP not understanding foreign affairs would jeopardize relationship with Jamaica's biggest trading partner, the U.S.? Listen.
One has to be.
So them PMP not jeopardize partnership with U.S. Let them do. You know, you have online, some of them not understand this. And them just come and put up one bag of bullshit. Yeah? With big dirty thinking, Mama. Yeah? If them charge him for war crime to man.
Cautious. It doesn't mean that you cower and keep silent, because that is not an option. But you have to do it in a way. There's a Jamaican term. Your hand in a lion mouth, you take time to draw it out.
So I'm going to tell you again, people. UN, we have 193 countries per UN. Everybody have a vote. We have the 5 permanent countries. Permanent countries. 5. US, UK, France, Russia, China. Veto powers. America veto powers. Can't do what they want to do. And you vote real with the conscience. Nobody now bully you. Like when I talk, this is bullshit. So it went down about lion mouth and them things. It couldn't make sense. I better you only depend UN. You depend UN for make the world better. Not for support garbage. Not for support garbage. See? You want a better world. You want a peaceful world. That's why them farm UN. So we now have no more World War I, like our World War I and then World War II. And the Korean War and then Vietnam War. We don't want no more war. Like how the World War then, the World War, we want to cut out these things. And we reach some resolution before. You have road state, you can put them back in order. But not to come and go on like you're a puppet for nobody. You have equal vote. Everyone have a vote, they say them have a vote. Different from the veto powers. So him not understand about no foreign policies and all kind of things and world views and we matter about. Him have play politics and then come up with garbage. Yeah, him wanna Andrew his consultant to tell him one bag of bullshit. These guys, they are just germs. They are just germs. Listen, you have a lot of educated fools in Jamaica, you know. Get up and say anything what they want to say. Yes? We are dealing with world views. We are dealing with human rights affairs. But you must say yes, it was outright wrong, and that to show you input visa front of humanity. You see humanity? That could have happened to us. A matter of fact, when Andrew make the money the other day, him talk about 80. And we have to do something, but the money we want to collect. Look what going in 80. Government, right? Criminal government, like Holness government, criminal government. See? Wow. But here the foolishness from female. Hear this.
Yeah? And frankly, Trump is not going to be here in another 4 or 5 years.
But this something to do with Trump. You see, that's why I hey people, the reason why I said Big Mama, I'm going to show you same as I said. When my talk don't make no sense. But when I advise the Prime Minister about, that show me half. For put a piece of paper over millions of lives, over 2 million lives. And tell them, look what our business, and that's how the world run. Run like that. No. See? Run like that. When them bow down to Hitler, we can't give you the whole history of Hitler now. You see what Hitler do? Them allow Hitler to take some place, then Hitler want more. You see? It caused over 55 million people to lose their life. 55. Over 55. Hundreds of million mile up, 1 and 1 foot, this, that, and all kind of things. Yes, because, you know, yes, because of them allow him and give in to him foolishness, and then it caused all of this. By the time them to stop him. And he nearly succeed. Yeah, nearly succeed. With the Marian race. Nearly. Yes, man. Saying? Yeah, man. Them wicked man. Them wicked Dana. Continue. But here, big old mama, I'm fool. Hear this.
He's gonna be gone.
Hear this.
In 3 years. If not before.
And Donald, a BB. When I talk, I said, I try make a. What am I doing now? I'm born, I try about the PMP, you know. Because Donald Scott Monty came out. Donald Scott Monty came out and make a, yes. Tell her stand, just you know, walk with this. Don't support Israel with this, the genocide. Him take it up on female, this crosses, and that's that bullshit. Hear this.
Wait him out.
Wait out what?
He's going to do a lot of damage, as he has been doing. A lot of damage. But Holness and Johnson Smith have to take care of Jamaica's best interest.
So Jamaica's best interest is a free world. Free of wars and stripes. So we get cheaper things, it's a peaceful world. The world's best interest is a peaceful world. Yeah? But it attack is bullshit. And if you follow this, anything where some countries say that just jump on it too. It don't make no sense. Yeah? This does no sense. That does no sense. Yeah.
While extending support and solidarity, remember that word? Solidarity with the people of Gaza and Palestine.
Yeah.
But we can't do it in a way that is confrontational and adversarial. So this man.
So when tell us when I attack him, I know the fuck him attack. He's a piece of shit. He just vanity and him hate people. Hate humanity. This piece of garbage. This where it's if somewhere else we attack, it lose the license completely. This is a danger to Jamaica society, this garbage. That big dirty thinking Mama Andreas Davis. They are dangerous to society. And them evil. Nobody may know. We don't really want to get up and put, listen, you know, put all scare land in front of people's life. Money and them, don't do it. Don't do it. That's why we have so much killing and all kind of things. Don't do them things, man. See? Not do it. See? But him want to put visa in front of millions of people. Yeah? Thousands will lose them life every day. And millions will suffer. Yeah? For visa. Not my word. Hear this.
Who is not given to anything but vengeance and transaction. And let me put it bluntly, he will simply say, if Jamaica, okay, we're going to take away the visas. Yeah. And take away the Jamaican visa. Which government in Jamaica could survive if it is a situation where it is thought, at least because of the action or what you have said, you now occasion America taking away Jamaicans' visa?
So, people vote for you and you worship an almighty visa. That's what I tell me. Hey, come move in front of me. Hey, them for running my radio, you know. So, him a tell Joseph, hold on upon this. So, my visa, piece of paper. Not for think about life. Not my word. I remember Big Mama can't take back this and twist it. Yeah? Yeah. Him can't take this and quit it. Brother, you can't understand this way, myself. Bullshit him attack. You understand? You can't tell nobody. I just tell you, say, Shama, every man have a vote. The 193 it's there. You vote the conscience, vote true, vote right for the righteousness, vote for the right thing. A peace and tranquility we are dealing with. Where my talk is bullshit. But you have minor and a lion, but the whole of this is garbage. Me, I tell you, it's garbage. America veto powers in the war. It's garbage. So I don't understand. There is nothing to understand. Him can't twist this. Him to lose him license. This is bullshit. Inhumane. This is for a visa. So tell me something. If you're a man that live over there, sir, Shamar Smith, and we have people that live over there, don't you want the government come speak out, Jamaica government, don't it? Eh? And you don't want them continue drop bomb and desecrate your mother and desecrate your family will live there. Until the government keep peace and visa. Eh? That makes sense to you? If gone too far, nobody not talk about no visa. And about survive visa. And I want place there. That is bullshit. Yeah? Where the talk it don't make no sense. Inhumane. This guy chatting garbage. You don't aid and bet Big Mama for come and chat garbage. And me no know. Brother, actually you don't know what this hurt me. I said, him couldn't be a real human being and say these things. Eh? You hear Barbados stand up? You hear what them do? Them proud of them stand. You ever hear when me and Mother talk? She talk against that straight. Go listen to her speech them. A matter of fact, when the guy that come about the doctor them and nurse, me and Mother say, listen me, I rather keep the nurse than the doctor them, you know. And if I visa, you take it. She said, where my talk is bullshit. She said, listen, and she now get bullied. Who bully her? No one. She come like manly. No one. That's why I say I love her, I stay, you know. She a manly, I start myself. Speak truth to power. Don't bow. Nah bow. Yes. Me not make people make a bow, you know. You can't let me tell you this. No man from earth. Me can't tell you this again. Yeah. Yeah. There is, no, she truth. And look, remember she's smart, so you know, the rest of crap. She not run put them. But them do her. Them know say, oh, she rough. Real woman this. A good thing, she know so huge country, she have the power because she will speak up. Make she want to speak up. She has speak truth to power and touch a lot of people. Yes? You understand? It's great. It's great. So when him come out with this bullshit, you have to condemn him to the highest level. Remember, him can't come and twist him out. Say, me don't go look out. Right now, Donald Trump did want the Nobel Prize. Him said the woman or somebody there. Maybe never asked him, but she said him should have get the Nobel Prize. Yeah. You understand? Yes. Yes. So him should have get the Nobel. That's him said. See me now? Look here. Let me show them again. Show them, we can show them this. Look on this.
Really, the agreement that they struck in Egypt is about the first part of this.
Look at America now. Up to America say the same thing what me I say right now. Look on this. This just come out 2 days.
Middle East this morning, we are standing by for the Israeli cabinet to approve the ceasefire deal. It could have all Israeli hostages released within days. The Hamas terror attacks on Israel were 2 years ago now, almost exactly. As we sit here at what could be an historic moment, the question is, how have public opinions changed? CNN chief data analyst Harry Etten is here. 2 years, we are on the precipice of this big moment. Yes. So where does public opinion stand?
Yeah, this war caused a historic shift in public opinion on how Americans view the Middle East conflict. What are we talking about here? Who voters sympathize more with, the Israelis or the Palestinians? Back in October of 2023, it was the Israelis by 48 points. Look at this shift. Now we're talking about the Palestinians by a point. I looked back at every single poll that I could possibly find since this question was first asked in the 1980s. This is the first time ever in which the Palestinians had any sort of lead on this particular question. It is very clear that this war caused a historic shift away from the Israeli position in the Middle East conflict and towards the Palestinians when it comes to who Americans and voters sympathize with. This, of course, was led by Democrats, because what are we talking about? We went from Democrats favoring the Israelis by 26 points to the Palestinians by 46 points. That is a shift, John, quick math in my head, of over 70 percentage points. But overall, the first time ever in which more Americans sympathize with the Palestinians over the Israelis. Truly a historic shift.
It's a big shift overall, a big shift within the Democratic Party. What about Republicans?
Yeah, it's not just Democrats, though, in which we have seen a real shift of opinion. Even within the Republican ranks, this war has caused real division. What are we talking about? Well, we often talk about by age within the Democratic Party, but what about by age within the Republican ranks? Who Republicans sympathize more with? You see a massive, huge age divide. Those 50 and over, what we see amongst Republicans is they sympathize more with the Israelis by 66 points. But look at the voters under the age of 50. They do sympathize with the Israelis, but just by 25 points. We're talking about a 40-point difference, with the youngest Republicans being far more sympathetic to the Palestinian position than older Republicans are.
That's a huge gap right there. Let's just say that.
That is a huge gap, and I think it's going to be very interesting to see how the Republican Party adjusts going forward.
All right, the news of the ceasefire deal, the possible return of all Israeli hostages, what's likely to be the reaction to that?
Yeah, I think Americans are really going to like it. And why do I say that? Because just look at the polling. A permanent Israeli-Hamas ceasefire, that is negotiating one. Highly important, that is extremely or very important, 51% of Americans. And then you see somewhat important, 31%. Over 80% of Americans said the idea of negotiating a ceasefire, a permanent one, was at least somewhat important. So the bottom line is I think a lot of Americans are really going to like this.
They want this over. Harry, and really interesting numbers.
See? So if you have 220 million people, and 80% of them are say, yeah, this, yes, it can, yes. And then when you look at the shift can to the Palestinian, like me, you can, look, you see over 20,000, 200,000 you people are going empty and did no food, nothing. I try to find back them place. But enough of them are dead same way, wrong, Yeah. See? It's wrong. You see me I say? Yes. This bad. You understand? It's bad. You understand? You see? No, you say you can't beat wrong with wrong. And I saw it go Shamar. Yes, you're right. That's because if something did wrong and then you take wrong and you destroy it like 100 more times, then where you get out of that? Yeah. You cannot destroy the people them like this.
Thank you,
John.
And as the president is celebrating this breakthrough in Gaza, he is set to convene his cabinet for a meeting this morning. He has also said that he may travel to the Middle East in the coming days. CNN's Elaine Treen live at the White House this morning. It seems there's going to be a lot going on there today.
Because some born this panning belt still, Can say, yes, let me do this. Me should I get the peace, because I say, I mean, forget the peace prize too, Me, my big mama says something different. Everybody can people, I want to whether you're American, you're Canadian, you're Jamaican, you're this, you're a human being. And we can't sit down and make one place, you know. Yes, I destroy next place like that. I destroy some people unarmed. And so, oh, me I go for some people, a handful of people, but you're going for 2 million. And then when the people them come out of them place, they flatten it with them family member. Then you're not leaving certain person there. You just kill as you want. We don't know if you're a rape or not. It can't work. You're not different from each of them. No. It's wrong. Yeah. Me I tell you, Glenn, it's wrong. And then to me tell you why enough of our people them not talk about this, you know. Sight you see the scene. When you watch these things with them I do, then you know me put myself because I watch everything, you know. I want thing with me, you know. Very informative, you know. Me live different from some other people, you know, because I watch like them normal movie and them things, not my thing. See? That's why I live in the wilderness, because mankind dangerous. See? When me look on them place here, and people walk about them business in a little marketplace, I be able to go through, and you drop £5 and 10,000 pounds and 5,000 pounds bam place and level it. It's evil. But I'm a citizen. That can't be justified no way. That's why people charge you a crime. I'm telling you. Even if you have fight with soldier and him just mash you up and you shoot down him plane and you catch him now in parachute or you catch him. If you just do him all kind of things and then a war crime. If as long as him surrender, you're not supposed to even hurt him. Well, Jamaica do war crime every day because them just catch some youth and kill them and say a shootout. Yes. And I go on like them are Israeli and fight Palestinian, like the ghetto people are Palestinian. And I wear the same blue. Like Israeli police. Yes. Just the same way I do with people them foolishness. And I tell life on the people them. Yeah. You understand? It's wrong. No, but Mr. Hey, yeah, Eber, let me tell you, you know. When you see her, you know, me not other nothing, you know. If something bother me, I will talk about it. And me no need no crowd to talk about my thing because me I talk about it. So you know what me stand. If me not in a something, me I talk about it. Me I come talk about it myself. Yes. One day the whole way I have a shot, but let me tell you, it take a man to start something to change the world, yeah? Yes. And put yourself in the same position. Yeah, look on this. Look on this. This right? Look here. Look on the horse there. Look here. We now have the look on this. Look here. Where you do this? Eh? Anybody have fireman?
في حصاب يا عم في حط شوفني شفته
People say at the gardens, may I show you, you know, can I keep them out? So you have the people them house and then gone out. Why you do this? You're going out on a flat neat like this. They you flatten up with them all asleep. You flatten school, you flatten hospital, they say sorry. They you oh, I'm all sit under it. Them dig under the tongue, that's why we take down the building. It's wrong. It's wrong. If it's wrong, it's wrong. Yes. Look here. Hey. There.
شردنا لاخر الدنيا قاعده في الطاوله على الطاوله شردنا قالوا في قصه شردنا على اخر الدنيا قاعدين على الطاوله لسه بقول لهم احتسوا شظيه دي في وجه البنت اجي.
So them people are chat to you, them are chat to him, baby. No. Them are chat to him. No. See what them they already, them in a beard. Can you imagine a female them here, you know? Now beard. Every month I run up same way, you know. Them not have nothing for use, you know. All they have food, them not have no water neither, you know. Just look on the hygiene of these people. Them have young baby, them have to feed. Them mother here, them stand up with the little kids, them. Them not have nothing for beer, they have nothing for drink. You barricade the food out. Because we have things with them barricade the food, now let you know food. And you're going in a sun desert, you still get bomb, still desecrated. When you're sick, no medicine, nothing at all. These are inhumane. We don't ask these things are wrong. You own a woman and own a mother, and every month, them not have no stuff. They not nothing, you know. No. Million, over 2 million people have moved so. Eh? This can't be right. Eh? You want a handful of man and say, boy, and then tell me it's a terrorist, but me see the terrorism, and then we if you allow you to do this. You don't fight civilian. It's wrong. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, man. See, it's wrong. So when me see wrong, I call it out. Big Mama for come off of the year. It means a goddamn disgrace. I come tell people about visa. You could have put visa over humanity, your germs, yo. Eh? One thing me not do, me not bow. One thing this man will not do, not bow. See? I'm not care who. I when me and you good, don't push no limit with me. Know where you attack and know where you do. Because something throw me off. I'm not make history good. See? I'm not bow. This wrong. Yes. Wrong man. Them for go, man. See, I you know I feel cut up from the weather yesterday now. I mean I come do this. I mean just show you when the terrorists take on a plane, state sponsor terrorists, terrorism. State sponsor terrorism not the same 76 against our country and nearly kill my leader too. Nearly kill my command. It's there, it's released. Document and like me I put up. Them burn down even time. Them use well, I see I use the youth and from Timothy and burn down even time, but as state terrorism too. Carrying the jelly and use them. Just for over 12. Yeah. It's there, it's documented, and I mean say so. There. Then release it. And you want to see me play it. So now like me I add on something and about no politics now. And just reality. See? Keep it real. Yeah. Make I go, you know what I do? For cool up me head for city later. I better go join me, you know. Join me alone somewhere here. Yes. I better go play some nice tune and cool up me, not true. Yes. Because I feel angry, you know. I eat some food and go by my TikTok. I remember when I do politics by my TikTok. But I go play some nice tune and then calm down my head for do my show later because I feel real angry. I'm upset, I'm angry. And we have to point out things like big dirty thinking, mama, and the foolishness. When they put out foolishness, we have to condemn them thing there. It's wrong. It's wrong. If you say humanity, if you say humanity, and say it and you flip-flop like people are ruining you, and then you come at about put hand in a giant mouth and throw out, and that is bullshit. You're a sovereign country. A little baby country like Barbados can stand up as a giant. What about your country? Enough time bigger than it? Eh? That is bullshit. See? When you see the right, point it out. Yeah? No guy remember could twist up boy, because we don't do that twist business there, you know. Yes. Keep it real, boy. Yeah? All right. Me there. Later. I'm out. Bless.
We are beat it till the hammer burn. We now make them get in on them and again. None of them boy that we none of them. We in lump sum we are beat it till the hammer burn. We now make them get in on them and again. None of them boy that we none of them. We alone some rise up the bomb and do.
We people like the government of a country. It's the servants protect the people of that country, not to put their life in misery. You understand me, Luciano? What else, man?
Government, stop pressuring the poor.
Oppression.
Politicians, your judgment coming for so.
Serious
it's a government, in your regiment. Stop pressuring the poor.
We can't take it no more, you know.
Politicians, politicians, your judgment coming fast.
Yo, politician, for the evilest mission, who know we blame. True money and power and fame. We go find up the youth, them really down the lane. Get them big gun and brainwash them brain, yo.